Well, hello, time travelers, and welcome, new time travelers. As always, if you're new to this channel, please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, come along as we learn something. In 1653, New Amsterdam, now known as New York City, was incorporated as a city. We will make a stop in 1848 when the United States and Mexico signed the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Hidalgo. Sorry. Moving on to 1876, when the National League, the oldest existing Major League professional baseball organization in the United States, began to play as a National League of professional baseball clubs. If you were wondering when the first Groundhog's Day was, look no further back than 1887, when the first Groundhog's Day was held in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. And I'm thinking that he actually saw his shadow this year. In 1905, American writer Ayn Rand, whose commercially successful novels promoting individualism and laissez-faire capitalism became influential among conservatives and libertarians, was born in St. Petersburg. 1912 brought us Frederick Rodman Law performing what was considered the first motion picture stunt parachuting from the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor, which is probably why it is now you have a 3-year wait list to be on a 3-year wait list to even enter the statue. And I think there's like a $75 to go up to the crown and an additional $20 to go up to the torch. I'm not quite sure. 1927 is when American jazz saxophonist Stan Getz was born in Philadelphia. Moving on to 1943, when the Battle of Stalingrad in World War II ended with the surrender of German troops to the Soviets. 4 years later, in 1947, Premier Alca di Gasperi of Italy formed a new coalition cabinet embracing Christian Democrats, Communists, and Socialists. Now, in 1949, when Secretary of State Dean Acheson described Premier Stanley's suggestion for a meeting with President Truman as an international political maneuver. 1956 brought a Soviet Premier Nikolai A. Bulgin in a letter to the U.S. State Department urging President Dwight D. Eisenhower to reconsider his rejection of a supposed 20-year treaty of friendship. And that would have been up in 1976. However, we're moving on to 1971 when Idi Amin declared himself president of Uganda and for the next 8 years headed a regime that was noted for its brutality. On this day in 1974, in a campaign aimed against the teachings of Confucius and policies of the late defense minister Lin Pao, China launched what is seen as new culinary revolution. In an article of the Communist Party newspaper, Zhenming Ji Pao, the campaign is described as war against feudalism, capitalism, and revisualism, and heavy blow to revisionism, imperialism, and reaction. It was a matter of first importance for the whole party, the whole army, the whole nation. Apparently, related to this ideological drive is the announcement in January of a military shakeup. Not sure what that means. 5 years later, in 1979, Sid Victorious of Sex Pistols, early prominence of the British rock punk, passed of a drug overdose in New York City. The following year, in 1980, the FBI undercover criminal investigation known as Abscom was revealed to the public. It resulted in the convictions of various elected officials and assortment of bribery and corruption charges. On this day in 1990, South African President F.W. de Klerk lifted the 30-year ban on the African National Congress, relating in the release from prison of Nelson Mandela and marking the beginning of the end of apartheid. 1998 brought us U.S. President Bill Clinton proposed a balanced federal budget to Congress. The country has not had a balanced budget in almost 3 decades. And another related note to that, to balance the federal budget, the government revenue must meet or exceed government spending. That happens only twice. That's had happened only twice in the past half century. President Lyndon Johnson did in 1969, and President Bill Clinton from 1998 to 2001. These days, the federal budget is far from balanced. But that's another topic that we're not getting into. Going back to 1980, during its primetime evening news program, NBC reported that for 2 years, agents of the FBI had been gathering evidence of corruption against certain members. Oh, this is more about what I was telling you guys about. Gathering evidence of corruption against certain members of the U.S. Congress. Posing as Arab businessmen, FBI agents were reportedly able to obtain promises of special treatments from U.S. government officials in exchange for money. Some of these secret meetings were recorded and videotaped. The FBI operation was codenamed Arab Scam. Abnol Enterprises LDT Scam. 3 days later, a U.S. Senator from New Jersey was accused of illegal involvement in licensing a gambling casino. On February 8th, a federal judge revealed another FBI investigation, this one codenamed Willem Bribery Laborer. The government-elect and Lieutenant Governor of Louisiana, as well as the Speaker of the Texas House of Representatives, were all accused of accepting bribes and an insurance kickback scheme. The FBI agent posed as an insurance company representative. They then offered money to the officials to secure insurance contracts covering city and state employees. Which, that's very interesting. Okay, 9 years after the turn of the century, in 2009, the U.S. State Department of Commerce reports that the savings rate in the country rose to 3.6% after tax income. In December of 2008, the rate for the year was 1.7%. Now, 10 years ago, in 2014, American actor Philip Seymour Hoffman, who fully inhabited the characters he played, and was renewed for his scene-stealing work and supporting role, unalived himself of a heroin overdose in New York City. And with that, we return to 2024 and our current history. So let's see what this year has to hold for us. Until then.